When you see a teenager with a $150,000 watch, $1 million car, and $19 million houses, you're either dreaming or you just met Barron Trump, Donald Trump's youngest son, and the epitome of a child born with a silver spoon in his mouth, or a golden one since we're talking about the Trumps. But if you're wondering how Barron spends his billion-dollar fortune, well, wonder no more. Barron's Uprising. Now, if you ever expected Barron to have a normal childhood, you might want to check your mental health. I mean, he's not just Donald Trump's child, he was brought up during Trump's presidency. And that's tough for any child. Moreover, as the youngest of Donald Trump's 5 children, and the only one with Melania, Barron was essentially raised as an only child. Sure, he had half-siblings, but when your nearest sibling is 13 years older, it's hard to bond over homework and snack time. While Dad was busy making headlines, Melania was hands-on, protecting Barron like a mama bear, albeit a very glamorous one in designer heels. She once even admitted to cooking his breakfast and packing his lunches. A refreshing change for someone who probably could have summoned a small army of chefs at the push of a button. And when little Barron decided to treat the playroom walls as his canvas, Melania simply shrugged it off and promised a fresh coat of paint. Talk about letting creativity flourish. Donald may have initially balked at naming his son Barron, but Melania put her foot down, reminding him that she'd been calling the boy Barron for months while he was still in the womb. Not to mention, it's hard to argue when you're facing someone who gave birth after a so-called very easy 8 hours of labor. Now, don't think that Donald was a bad father. You may love or hate Donald as a politician, but as a father, there is a universal agreement among his children. He's the best. In fact, seeing how much his other children love him, it's obvious Donald is a hands-on dad who loves spending quality time with his kids. So despite his many responsibilities, both as a businessman and as the President of the United States, Trump still made time to bond with his youngest. Bonding with his father. Growing up as Donald Trump's youngest child, Barron Trump has had quite the lavish upbringing. Though it's clear the teenager is trying to carve his own path, one golf swing and soccer kick at a time, Barron might have been raised in Trump Tower and the White House, but his real playground is on the green, playing golf with his dad. And let's be honest, if you've got a father like Donald Trump who considers golf as serious as international diplomacy, you'd better get good at the sport or face some very presidential trash talk. Barron, however, seems less inclined to follow in Dad's golfing footsteps. While Donald dreams of his youngest inheriting his love for golf, Barron is more interested in soccer. In fact, when Trump suggested his 6'7" son take up basketball, Barron simply replied, "Nah, I prefer soccer, Dad." Clearly there's no talking him into everything, even if your dad once lived in a house shaped like the Oval Office. Of course, Donald, ever the doting father, boasts about Barron's skills with technology. Apparently, the teen can hack his dad's computer faster than you can say fake news. Who needs the Secret Service when your son is a computer wizard? As much as Barron shares his dad's sharp mind and confidence, he's a little more reserved. But with Melania keeping a watchful eye and Donald trying his best to bond over golf, it's clear that Barron is destined to leave his own mark. Indeed, the Donald spends quite a lot of time with his youngest, and, well, honestly, they seem to enjoy each other's company. Of course, that doesn't absolve Donald from buying lavish gifts for his child. And to be honest, the amount of over-the-top presents Barron received as a child, both from his parents and their friends, is more akin to absent parents. I mean, who needs a golden stroller, anyway? Lavish gifts. Growing up Trump means your baby gifts are anything but ordinary, and Barron's case is the perfect example. While most newborns get onesies and diapers, baby Barron received a golden stroller with a chandelier. Yes, a chandelier. From none other than Ellen DeGeneres, who clearly believed even Barron's strolls around the penthouse needed to be lit. Melania said it made her laugh, because who wouldn't chuckle at the idea of pushing your baby around in what's essentially a mobile Versailles? And if that wasn't enough, fashion designer Dennis Basso gifted Barron a mink coverlet. I guess Basso was actually ordering milk, but the manufacturer was dyslexic, and, well, a mink blanket it is. And let's not forget the horse he got from the president of Mongolia. Yes, a real horse named Victory. Although poor Victory probably never made it out of Mongolia. But hey, it's the thought that counts. But not all gifts were pointless luxuries. For example, Melania treated Barron with an ultra-luxurious caviar-based skincare lotion from a very early age. Barron's nighttime routine included being slathered head to toe in a caviar-infused moisturizer from his mom's own line. You know, just a casual way to end the day. Meanwhile, most babies are thrilled to find out they have toes. But if you think that pampering was all that Barron got as a child, well, you don't know how strict Trump is toward education. And with Melania behind the upbringing, this trend was taken to a whole new level. Education. Barron Trump's educational journey has been one expensive ride. And we're not just talking about tuition. Though with schools like Columbia Grammar, St. Andrews, and Oxbridge Academy on the list, those checks were hefty enough to make anyone need caviar-infused moisturizer. Let's start with Columbia Grammar and Preparatory School, located in New York City's Upper West Side. It's the kind of school where the only thing more prestigious than the curriculum is the price tag. Barron's tuition cost more than some people's yearly salaries. But hey, at least he got to take his whole 5th grade class on a trip to Washington, D.C. You know, just a casual field trip to Dad's house. The White House. Then came St. Andrews Episcopal School in Maryland, where Barron enjoyed the privilege of attending a place that was as classy as its $40,000 tuition fee. While most kids were worried about whether their parents could chaperone field trips, Barron had the Secret Service tagging along. Imagine trying to sneak your phone out in class with those eyes on you. After his White House days, Barron graduated from Florida's Oxbridge Academy, a school that costs $38,000 a year. Because if you're going to study, why not do it in style? Now he's headed off to college in New York, although the exact school is still a mystery. NYU? Columbia? One thing's for sure, wherever Barron goes, his education will be as golden as his former stroller. With an education like this, it'd hardly be a surprise when Barron actually surpasses his father in wealth. I mean, the Donald is definitely a tough cookie to crumble, but admittedly, Barron has a nice head start. I mean, being worth $80 million right after high school is a bit out of the ordinary. How much is Barron worth? At just 18 years old, Barron Trump already has a net worth that would make most people do a double take, or maybe a triple take, clocking in at around $100 million. While some teens are deciding between minimum wage summer jobs or babysitting gigs, Barron is busy managing investments in real estate and stocks, and probably contemplating which $30,000 watch best complements his casual jeans and t-shirt ensemble. Tough life decisions indeed. Much of Barron's wealth comes from his dad, Donald Trump, whose own fortune is estimated at around $3 billion. And thanks to Melania renegotiating her prenup, the true power move, let's be honest, Barron is set to inherit a larger slice of that financial pie. So in case you were wondering, yes, having a business-savvy mom has its perks. But Barron isn't just sitting back and waiting for his inheritance. He's already invested in real estate, with properties that include a $19 million estate complete with a golf course, because who doesn't need a little golfing getaway? He also has stakes in major companies like Alphabet and Amazon, proving that even at 18, he's got his eye on the big leagues. While Barron may still be figuring out college and what he wants to do with his future, one thing's for sure, he's already making money moves, even if those moves involve carefully selecting which luxury suit to wear to dinner. Of course, the largest portion of Barron's net worth comes from the property he owns. And as you're about to see, those are not just Lego setups and make-believe mansions. I'm talking about the real deal here. Properties. While most children his age would be glad to build a hotel in the yellow neighborhood on Monopoly, Barron is a touch more into the real-world real estate dealings. His portfolio is not that huge at the moment, but as the son of Donald Trump, he is entitled to some pretty lucrative properties all across America. Let's start with the famous Mar-a-Lago, the family's humble 17-acre vacation shack in Palm Beach, Florida, with 58 bedrooms, 33 bathrooms, and of course, 3 bomb shelters. Because who knows when the Russians will decide to come unannounced. It's where Barron gets to stretch out his legs after a long day. And while most of us are lucky if our homes have a yard, Mar-a-Lago comes with a private beach club and a ballroom. Perfect for Barron to, practice his ballroom dancing. Or maybe just pick up some tennis on one of the estate's courts. And if that's not enough, Barron spent his childhood in a 33,000 square foot penthouse atop Trump Tower in New York. Although city records tell us it's more like 11,000 square feet, but hey, what's a few thousand square feet between friends? He even had his own floor, complete with a kitchen, nursery, and living room. That's right, the kid had a penthouse within a penthouse. Talk about extreme personal space. Oh, and let's not forget the $19 million estate in New Jersey, where Barron can enjoy the 7,000 square foot house, golf course, and swimming pool. It's the perfect retreat after a hard day of being, well, fabulously rich. Well, it's obvious that, like his father, Barron has a keen eye for outstanding properties. And like Donald, the youngest Trump also has an affection for ultra-luxurious and expensive cars. Car collection. Barron Trump is not just growing taller than most of his father's skyscrapers. He's also trying to match his old man's lavish car collection. At 18 years old, he has a better start than most his age. I mean, not too many kids can show off 3 ultra-expensive and highly luxurious cars. First up in his impressive collection is the Ferrari SF90 Stradale, a car that laughs in the face of hybrid stereotypes. This isn't your eco-conscious neighbor's Prius. This nearly $1 million beast has a whopping 986 horsepower under the hood. You'd be hard-pressed to get Barron to slow down enough to hear him say, "This is environmentally friendly." With a 0 to 60 mph time that leaves most sports cars in the dust, this Ferrari is essentially a jet with wheels. And speaking of over the top, how about a Lamborghini Hurricane? Because when you're 6'7" and 18 years old, subtlety is clearly overrated. With over 600 horsepower and a design that looks like it was dreamt up by a sci-fi artist, after a triple espresso, this $350,000 car is just as comfortable tearing up the racetrack as it is stealing the show on city streets. Bonus points if Barron ever takes it off-roading in the rally-inspired Hurricane Cerato, because nothing says, "I enjoy the finer things," like kicking up dirt in a Lamborghini. Not to be outdone, Barron also has a Mercedes G-Wagon, the $200,000 SUV that went from military vehicle to luxury icon. It's perfect for Barron, rugged enough for a Secret Service detail, but still stylish enough to make a bold entrance at any black tie event. Plus, with its turbocharged engine and all-wheel drive, it can conquer just about anything. Much like the Trumps at a real estate auction. In Barron's world, these cars aren't just vehicles, they're rolling declarations of extravagance. While most teens are lucky to get hand-me-down Hondas, Barron's garage is where horsepower and luxury collide, leaving the rest of us asking, can I at least get a ride? And the answer, of course, is no. After all, even Melania rarely gets a chance to share a ride with Barron these days. Not like when he was a child and both were riding the iconic family Rolls-Royce Phantom. Still, cars are not the only thing that bonds the family. I mean, Barron certainly took his mother's sense of fashion, especially when it comes to high-level accessories. Watches. When it comes to high fashion and horological wonders, Barron Trump has an impressive collection that is a step beyond what most of us can even dream of. If you thought your high school wardrobe was extravagant, Barron's is essentially what would happen if a runaway met a royal vault. First off, let's talk about Barron's watch collection, because nothing says I'm living my best life like a wrist that costs more than your car. He's been spotted flaunting in Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, valued at $95,000. This isn't just any watch. This is a timepiece that practically screams, "I have arrived." Designed by the legendary Gerald Genta. It's an octagonal marvel with a dial that looks like it was woven by a Swiss time wizard. If Barron were a superhero, his superpower would be making other people's watches look like they came from a vending machine. Not to be outdone, Barron also wears a Patek Philippe Nautilus, priced at $150,000. With a name like that, you'd expect it to have a built-in submarine. This watch isn't just luxurious, it's practically an investment strategy. It's like wearing a small, portable treasure chest on your wrist. Just in case you need to bribe your way out of a sticky situation, or impress someone at a really fancy brunch. But let's not forget his fashion sense. Barron's casual look might involve a $5,000 Dior jacket, paired with a $990 Michael Kors skirt. Wait, no, that's Melania's wardrobe. Barron, on the other hand, sports a relaxed yet high-profile style with his New Balance sneakers and bomber jackets. When he does dress up, he channels his dad's love for suits and ties, proving that even high-profile families can have a uniform, though Barron's version is slightly less corporate drone and more youthful debonair. While the rest of us may be hunting for bargains, Barron is out there making even the most opulent items look like everyday wear. It's a world where streetwear meets high fashion, and if his wardrobe were a movie, it'd definitely be a blockbuster hit in the luxury genre. Sure, Barron's sense of fashion is definitely something he shares with his mother, but unlike her, that's not his true passion. Barron is quite different from both his parents, and while he does spend most of his money on properties and cars like his dad and fashion statements like his mum, he does have a chunk dedicated to what he loves best: hobbies. It's obvious that Melania greatly impacted Barron's upbringing, as he's universally described as down-to-earth and kind. Moreover, Barron is famous for his quite normal hobby, soccer. Sure, it's practiced with more luxury and glamour, but hey, he's just like you and me. Or maybe someone who actually likes soccer. I mean, come on, 0-0 is not an entertaining score for any game, especially one that takes 90 minutes to finish. Still, despite my opinions on what the rest of the world calls football, Barron is pretty much enchanted by the game. While his dad is busy adding gold-plated clubs to his golf bag, Barron is schmoozing with soccer legends like Wayne Rooney. Imagine being gifted a World Cup souvenir ball from Vladimir Putin and then using it as a paperweight. Barron, meanwhile, gets to hold on to such memorabilia like it's his golden ticket to the sports elite. The only thing that doesn't add up here is why a Manchester United legend would ever give pointers to an Arsenal fan. But let's not get into European soccer rivalries in front of the boy. I'm sure he's much better prepared on the topic than I am anyway. But soccer is not the only pastime Barron enjoys. Donald's youngest son is well known for following his father's footsteps and practicing his swings at the golf course at least twice a week. Barron's swings are probably so refined that even the golf balls wear designer labels. I mean, why settle for par when you can aim for perfection with a side of caviar? But Barron's interests don't end with the links. Oh no, he's also quite the skiing enthusiast. His downhill adventures take him to Aspen, Colorado, where the snow isn't just powdery, it's the finest white gold you can ski on. When Barron zooms down those slopes, it's less graceful descent and more elegant glide, as if he's practicing for the Winter Olympics, but only the one with royal judges. In the end, Barron Trump's hobbies aren't just a reflection of his upbringing, they're a testament to how even a simple game of golf or soccer can be elevated to an art form when you're living the high life. For Barron, it's not just about playing, it's about playing in style. I know, you were expecting Donald Trump's son to be a hunter or some sort of political debater, but come on, the 18-year-old is just a humble kid. Not like many other children who were brought up in more than wealthy households. Just check out how these kids spend their daddy's money, and you'll see that Barron is just a normal kid with $100 million in his bank account. I mean, Beyoncé and Jay-Z's daughter actually got a $600,000 gold rocking horse as a gift, and today buys $80,000 jewelry as if she's buying a sandwich at a gas station. But that's nothing compared to what Eve Jobs does with her late father's money.